Yes, hello Rakesh. Welcome on YourPedia platform, and let's start your RAC snap.
Okay,
As you
sir.
mentioned, you are preparing for NPCIL. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what you prepared in this subject from this subject?
Sir, all over the subject RAC I have completed, sir.
Okay. So, what is refrigeration, Rakesh?
Sir, if it's a closed space, temperature to the lower than the atmospheric and maintain this temperature continuously by extracting heat, and it must be operated on a cycle.
Can you explain the working principle of domestic refrigerators?
Yes, sir. Sir, in domestic refrigerator, there are made 4 component used in which 4 thermodynamic processes are held. At first, in the compressor, their saturated vapor comes from the evaporator, and here isentropic compression takes place. And high pressure, high temperature refrigerant goes to the condenser, where constant pressure heat rejection takes place in the condenser, and it converted into the saturated liquid. And then it goes to the expansion valve, where isenthalpic expansion takes place, and at the exit we get the wet vapor, and then it goes to the evaporator, where constant pressure heat addition takes place.
Fine, Rakesh. Actually, you explained the working, but I actually asked you the working principle.
Okay, working principle. So basically there is a medium which is extract the heat. We call them refrigerant. So refrigerant basically take the heat from the space we want to cool, and this heat it reject to the atmosphere.
Rakesh, what is energy efficiency?
Sir,
You heard about this
energy,
term, energy efficiency?
yes, sir. Sir, is basically average COP of a particular season of a refrigerator or AC.
No, that is SEER, seasonal energy efficiency ratio.
Okay. Energy efficiency.
Average energy efficiency, that is known as SEER, seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Fine. But I actually asked you, what is that? What is that energy efficiency ratio?
No, sorry, sir, I have no idea about it.
Fine. You are aware about the tonnage of domestic refrigerators?
Yes, sir.
Yes, give me some range, some rough idea.
So it is basically when 1 US ton of 0°C water to convert into 0°C ice, the amount of heat we extract in 24 hours, this is the 1 ton of refrigeration actually. And in kilowatt, its value is 3.5 kilowatt.
Fine. You heard about subcooling, Rakesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, can you draw on pH diagram? Can you draw the VCRS cycle on pH diagram with subcooling? And can you explain the advantages or disadvantages of getting the subcooling?
Yes, sir. It is a pH diagram for subcooling.
So this is VCRS cycle.
Yes, sir.
So the compression which we carry out in the compressor, that is the wet compression or dry compression?
Sir, here is the wet compression, sir. Wet compression, sir, it is.
So what kind of compression we carry out use in a VCRS system?
Sir,
In
actually we
our
do
refrigerators.
dry compression. Sir, actually we do dry compression.
So why you have not taken that default case?
Sir, it case the actually subcooling. When mentioned that subcooling with superheating, then I would like to draw superheating case.
Fine. Achha, just tell me, Rakesh, tell me one thing. How we ensure this subcooling? How we actually carry out subcooling?
So basically there are many 2-3 processes in which we can subcooling done. One of the process is, sir, we extract heat in the superheated. We extract heat from the at the end of the condenser, and this heat is used to increase the refrigerant temperature at the exit evaporator. Basically, subcooling and superheating done simultaneously by a heat exchanger. Then, if we increase the size of the condenser, then more heat rejection takes place. And then that case, one of the possible case of subcooling, or in place of air-cooled condenser, we can use water-cooled condenser. Then more heat rejection takes place. Then we can also achieve subcooling.
Okay. Can you tell me the working principle of steam jet refrigeration?
Steam jet. Sorry, sir, I have no idea about it.
Okay. Achha, tell me some of the desirable properties of refrigerant.
Yes, sir. Freezing point temperature that must be very low. Boiling point temperature that should also be low. Critical temperature must be high. Critical pressure must be high. Now, one of the most important parameters is latent heat of vaporization. It must be large, non-toxic, non-flammable. It may be completely miscible with lubricating oil or immiscible completely. This is the basic.
Because you are aware about the ODP and GWP of the refrigerant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ODP is mainly ozone depletion potential, and GWP is global warming potential.
So how much is this ozone depletion and global warming potential for R134A?
Sir, R134A, ODP is at 0, and GWP potential is 1300, sir. 1300, yes, sir.
Ajay, can you tell me the chemical name of R134A?
Yes, sir. Its formula actually C2H2F4. So tetrafluoro ethane, sir.
What is the refrigerant code for ammonia?
Pardon, sir.
Can you tell me the refrigerant code?
Refrigerant code for ammonia.
Yes.
Yes, sir. R717.
R717. Achha, where we use ammonia?
Sir, in cold storage, where we want to store food.
Why don't
or
we
in
use
meat preserve.
ammonia in our domestic refrigerators?
Sir, one of the ammonia's properties, it is toxic in nature. In any kind of how it leak into the subcooled space or in contact with human body, then it's maybe harm to us. So that's why we not use in domestic refrigerator.
Rakesh, what is cascade refrigeration?
So cascade refrigeration is basically a refrigeration process in which we can achieve very low or ultra low temperature around -70 -80 degree, in which range we normally solid ice form. minus 80 degrees Celsius.
What is Joule-Thomson coefficient?
So I heard about it, but I have not complete clarification about it.
It is a term which is associated with throttling process.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, aircraft flies actually at a very high altitude,
Yes, sir.
where the temperature, outside temperature is very low.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is sub-zero temperature. So why actually
Yes,
refrigeration required? Why air conditioning required in the refrigerator in the aeroplane? You know, we carry out some cooling. Why not some heating
yes, sir.
is
Yes, sir.
required?
Yes, sir. Although aeroplane are very high altitude, they run or fly. Their outside temperature may be low, but there is some factor which increase the temperature of the aeroplane body or inside the body. One of the first is they fly at a very high speed, so air's drag force it act on it. So due to this, lots of heat energy produced, and there is a human inside the plane, almost 90 watt of latent heat human release per hour. So this heat actually produced. Then there is some machinery which produce the heat. There are some occupants, and there is also solar radiation, whose temperature is also entered the aeroplane. So we need to cool at that place for human comfort. Is actually basically at higher temperature human cannot survive or feel comfort easily.
What is psychometric chart? And what is the use of that psychometric chart?
The psychometric chart is used for the thermal and physical properties to represent of moist air actually, and it is used to determine various property of the moisture. So
You heard about ADP?
ADP, it's apparatus dew point temperature.
What is that?
So, actual definition is when we done cooling with dehumidification, then the cooling and dehumidification line but cut the saturation curve. At that point, we call apparatus dew point temperature.
No, what is the difference between dew point and apparatus dew point?
I have not a complete idea. I searched it about, but I cannot find.
Okay. My last question to you, Rakesh. Rakesh, what is effective temperature?
Effective temperature. So it is the temperature basically at human feel comfort. Means how much temperature human release from its body to become in equilibrium with the surrounding.
I just suppose if I will give you some thermometer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You are sitting in some room and I'm giving you only one thermometer.
Okay.
So then what do you feel? You will be able to define the relative humidity of the air present in your room.
Yes, sir, I can define.
How?
Okay. At first I measure the dry bulb temperature from the thermometer. Then I measure the wet bulb temperature of the thermometer by use a wet cloth around the bulb of it. Then these two reading, I get the DVT and WVT. Then I found the saturation pressure corresponding to WVT, which I get from the stream table. Then by Carrier's equation or F-Johan's equation, I find the partial pressure of water vapor at the corresponding air. So by partial pressure of water vapor, there is an equation in which we find specific humidity W equal to 0.622 partial pressure of water vapor divided by pressure of atmospheric minus partial pressure of water vapor. Then we get the specific humidity and we have the DBT. Then by psychometric chart, we can easily find the relative humidity.
No, from psychometric chart, you can find out humidity just by locating the room conditions. Suppose if you are having WBT
Yes,
and
sir.
dry bulk temperature, then directly you will get relative humidity. No such big calculation required. Just to avoid that calculation only, we developed that chart. Huh? That chart was developed by so many researchers.
Yes, sir.
Actually, just to avoid such kind of
Okay.
calculations. So if you are having WBT, if you are having dry bulk temperature, directly you can locate that point on the psychometric chart and you can get the value of relative humidity. Yes or no?
Yes, sir, I can get.
So there is no such, because if you are first finding out WBT and then finding out indirectly the specific humidity and then obtaining the RH from the psychometric chart, so that you can directly also get by putting the value of WBT and DBT. Okay, Rakesh, I think now I need to provide you the feedback because Shreyash is there in the meeting because 15 minutes are over now. I have given that time to Shreyash next. So overall, your knowledge is looking fine, Rakesh. Your
Okay, sir.
understanding is looking good. You are looking comfortable. Some 2-3 areas which I feel further you need to revise, especially psychrometry. Okay, that part.
Yes, sir.
Entire the bypass vectorality terms, adiabatic saturation, what is that, apparatus dew point, okay, all these terms. So you are facing some little bit difficulty in answering those questions. Overall, your understanding is looking good, Shash. Most of the question you answered very quickly. Actually, I asked you some basic questions. Okay, so you are relating well.
Okay, sir.
Overall, it was fine. Rakesh, this time I cannot discuss with you in detail the questions which I asked you.
Okay,
So
sir.
try to find out the answer of each and every question. If you face further difficulty, you are having my WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me anytime. Okay, good luck. Best of luck
Okay,
for
sir.
your final
Thank you.
interview.